Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today I'm making a really tasty bar cookie called a French crisp. Today's cookie video is in collaboration with Mandy, also known as The Kitchen Wife.
The Kitchen Wife is a YouTube channel, Instagram account, and most notably, a beautiful blog filled with recipes ready for you to make at home. I love following along with The Kitchen Wife on her Instagram stories as she prepares dinner step by step. To top it off, Mandy is kind, funny, and honest as she shares her daily life online. After you watch my video, be sure to check out her Christmas cookie recipe video, which I'll link in the description box below.
When my parents got married in the late 1960s, my mom joined a young women's club, and every year they had a cookie exchange. So at the very first exchange, one of her friends brought these French crisps. So this recipe has been a family favorite for over 50 years, and I can definitely see why. French crisps start with a really buttery, super chewy crust. So we're gonna make that here in this large bowl. I'm starting with 2 sticks of unsalted butter that I've brought to room temperature, and then 1 cup of brown sugar. So we'll cream that together. To this mixture, I'm gonna add 1 egg yolk. So I'll crack the egg in a separate bowl and then let the egg white fall into the bowl. So then I'm just left with the yolk, and I'll add that to the butter and sugar. And to this, we'll add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. There we go, maybe a little more. It smells and tastes awesome. And then we'll mix that together. The last ingredient I'll add to the dough is 2 cups of all-purpose flour that I sifted. Now I did this before I called my mom, who said that she doesn't sift her flour anymore, and her bars taste great every year, so you don't really have to do that. But if you want to whisk it a little bit just to get any lumps out, she says she actually uses a little wooden chopstick just to kind of sift the flour, stir it around, and make sure it's smooth. So we'll sprinkle this in, and then the dough is going to be very thick, so I'm switching from my electric hand mixer to a wooden spoon to incorporate all the ingredients. I have a 9 by 13 inch glass baking dish here that I've sprayed with cooking spray, or you could butter it. And I'm just going to use my hands to place the dough into the bottom and kind of spread it out so it evenly coats the whole pan. So I'm just using my wooden spoon to help me start to spread the dough out, and then I'll go with my fingers. I'm thinking I might either dampen my fingertips or even flour them just so they don't stick as much to the dough. The dough is definitely pretty sticky, but it's happening. It's in all the corners. Only got a little bit on my fingertips, and I actually did use a little water on them, and that helped. And you can even use like the back of your hands, whatever you need to do to get it evenly spread on the bottom of the pan. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and we're gonna bake this crust for about 20 minutes till it's nice and golden brown, and then we're gonna top this with lots and lots of Hershey's chocolate. My crust just came out of the oven, and you know what it smells like in here to me? Waffle cones. It smells really buttery and rich, and I can't wait to eat these. So for the topping, what we have to do is take some just standard Hershey bars. This is like what you would find in the checkout aisle at the grocery store. I bought a package of 6. So I broke them all up into little pieces and put them into a glass mixing bowl, and then I'm gonna pop them in the microwave and melt them in like 15 to 20 second increments until they're really liquidy, because my mom said that you want a nice thin layer on top. You don't want the chocolate to be too thick, because then it won't really adhere to the crust. Also, I just have to give a shout out to Hershey chocolate. Hershey milk chocolate will always be my favorite because I grew up like less than an hour away from Hershey, so I went there all the time, and this is just the best. So if you're looking for a good milk chocolate, go with Hershey's. While the crust is still hot, I'm gonna pour my melted chocolate all over the top. And you can't tell me that doesn't look incredible. You know these are gonna be good. And then I'll use my little itty bitty spatula here to spread the chocolate evenly over the top into a nice thin layer. Just be sure to spread the chocolate all the way to the edge and into every corner, and be gentle as you're spreading because you don't want to tear the crust underneath because it's still pretty tender since it just came out of the oven. But this is looking perfect. Now for the traditional French crisp recipe, the finishing touch is a sprinkle of 1 cup of chopped pecans. But if you don't like nuts, you could use maybe some Christmas M&Ms that you've chopped up and sprinkle over top, maybe some crushed up candy canes, or you could simply leave them plain and they're equally as delicious. So however you want to top them is fine with me. Today, we're using 1 cup of pecans. And there's our French crisps. So the only disappointing thing about these French crisps is that they take an hour at least to set up in the fridge. You want the chocolate to solidify and it'll make the crust easier to cut. So they're going in the fridge for a little bit and then we'll cut it up and give it a taste. My French crisps cooled down and solidified in the refrigerator probably for about an hour and a half, and now I get to try them out and I'm so excited. I already cut myself a little nibble here. Yeah. They're incredible. The crust is almost like a shortbread cookie, but it's chewier than that. And it's so rich from the brown sugar. And of course it's buttery, my favorite thing ever. And the pecans add a nice little crunch on top, so it is nice to have some sort of topping just for that textural contrast. These are so good. Make sure you check out Mandy on her channel, The Kitchen Wife, and I'll link to her video in the description box below. If you're here from her channel, welcome and please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon for another family recipe.
For the full recipe, check the description box below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen.